The views and comments expressed on the following radio program by its hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect the views of rmconair.com or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
I'm skating in my mind.
You feel me?
Skate song.
That is some World on Wheels action, right?
Smooth right there. I like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, So What Mornings back in the building for yet another riveting show.
Yes, sir.
You know I got a topic that's crazy. It's bananas. I've got guests and I've got books. But before I get to the guests and the books, let me welcome my crazy co-host. And it's on him today. No Dr. Mark Goulston, because he's white, rich, and out making money without us.
That's what
Let me bring in Lord Geoff Brown. Welcome back,
yes,
good
sir.
friend.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Would you allow me the privilege of perhaps introducing or setting up the introduction to the man on my left?
I would love to see how you would do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, a cat that I came up watching rip shows where it wasn't even no show. It was just outside on the beach destroying. From that day
I remember them.
to this one. Bend you over and make you throw up on your new shoes funny. The only other black man to win Star Search. They're both on the show today. Ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
With no further bullshit. Michael fucking Colyar.
In the building,
Thank you
Michael
very much.
Colyar.
How beautiful. I thank y'all for introducing me, brother. I appreciate being here. Thank you, Zoe. What?
Come on, man.
Hell yeah, I'm happy to be here.
You
when
know
you
we
call.
about to cut up. You know this,
I'm
right?
looking forward to it, man. A bunch of intelligent folks on one station. This going to be a good time.
Yeah,
I've been on shows with a bunch of folks that weren't all quite intelligent and just some crazy shit. But this is going to be outstanding.
Yes, it is. And what do you call it, Geoff, when a bunch of crazy people get on the show and
I was just about to say it.
Just go ahead.
Monkeys throwing shit. Just monkeys throwing shit.
That's Geoff Brown's breakdown of it. Listen, we have another incredible guest on the show right now. She goes by a pen name, just 2 letters, DT.
DT.
But her name is Linda Gross. Welcome, Linda Gross. She's a blogger. She has written a book, a very interesting book, The Caveman Formula. Just, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna tell you what that means when we introduce what the topic.
Hit him in the head with a stick and take the coochie.
She said, well,
Drag you
everybody,
back
listen, everybody knows what our topic's going to be. It's all over Twitter, but I'm going to give it up in a second. But before I do, let me just go through my book selections. A lot of people are going crazy over the book selections. I see people tweeting covers of books and posting on Facebook Zoe's book selection. I really appreciate it.
Nice.
And because it's on video, I don't have to go slow. A lot of people say, slow down. It's video. Push pause.
Yes, back it up, stupid.
Jesus. Rewind it.
Zoe's books. Zoe's
So,
books.
book number 1.
Zoe's books.
This is a great book. You know, a lot of people talking about this interracial dating situation. A lot of people.
Does that say what I think it says?
It does, man. It does. And if you're from the South, you remember this saying.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Big
do.
Mama would say it all the damn time. Right? Don't bring home a white boy.
Don't bring home a white boy.
By Karen Langhorne Folan.
Even if he's the landlord's son?
Even if he's the landlord's son, don't bring home a wife. But we remember from the South, if they can't use our comb,
You can't bring them home.
don't bring them home.
Wow, I never heard
That's
that.
because
That's pretty good.
oh yeah, that's because a white boy ain't but twice removed from them crackers that was chasing your granddaddy. That's why we can't bring him home. He knows somebody that knows somebody that was chasing your granddaddy.
Nah, but this was a very interesting book because what she was saying was it's time for black women to start dating outside of their race. She was saying that there are other races of men that are just as misogynistic, just as disrespectful. There's no need to be loyal to black men who have been disrespectful and misogynistic and hurtful towards black women.
I can't wait to start this topic.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
tasty.
Ooh, don't bring home a white boy.
Unless you bring him in a box. Okay.
And for all of those neutered male lovers out there,
Oh yeah, I thought
hate-
I was the only one picked up on that.
listen, man, listen. I'm just saying. I said this on previous shows, and this is why we're doing this topic today.
Okay.
The neutered man is now considered the catch.
Oh wow,
He's a good man.
I'm not sure what a neutered man
In other
is.
because
words,
you're not one.
Malcolm
Thank you.
X was not neutered.
Okay, no.
He was like, fuck that.
Okay.
If you out of pocket, I'm going to show you what out of pocket look like.
Right.
There you go.
you
There you
feel
go.
me?
There
Now,
you go.
I'm not coming to you out of pocket, but if you show me out of pocketness,
Come on, here we go.
I'm finna come see you with what out of pocketness should look like.
In the words
sorry.
of my granddaddy, you come over here with them two pair, I'm gonna show you 4 aces.
You
There you
feel
go.
me?
Come on
You
over here.
feel me? But nowadays, the neutered male, and this is no disrespect to the brother, I'm just saying you got to fit in. And when you fit in, that's why I say assimilation is not the same as integration.
No, it's not.
When you integrate, you still maintain your identity. When you
Yes.
assimilate, you're now lost.
Exactly.
You're lost in the system. You've been consumed by the system. Speaking of that, The Conversation by Hill Harper is a good book. But it's teaching some old, antiquated, outdated kind of beliefs about relationships. To me, it's socially correct. This is how you look right socially.
Give us some fun.
This is how you fit in. If you have a child with a woman, you should marry her.
Okay.
Fuck the fact that 60% of the marriages end in divorce. We live in a culture that says it is better to have married somebody and been divorced than to not have married at all. How ignorant is that? It is better to have failed at a spiritual union than to never have gone through it. Listen, at the end of the day, I tell my son this all the time. 16 years old, champion. Anyway,
Thank you.
Shout out to the Lions.
shout out to the young lion for winning the champion, CIF, but that's something else. I tell my son all the time, relationship is a school you don't want to enroll in too early because it's the one class you never graduate from. So why are we applauding people for failing at it? Take your time and learn who you are before you jump into this fucking relationship boat that you think is going to carry you off to some island of happiness. First off, you got to find happiness in you before you can find it in a union.
Can you say that one more time, please?
First off, you got to find happiness in you
Wow.
before you can find it in a union.
Talking
Now,
my language
Let's go back
now.
to the boat.
the
okay.
boat of marriage? No,
No, I got a metaphor for the boat.
Okay, give me the
Okay,
metaphor.
you get in the boat with the wrong woman, she will shoot a hole in the boat knowing she can't swim just to drown you.
Wow. God damn.
Ooh-wee.
That's what my homeboy said. My homeboy told me in regards to my crazy ratchet baby mama. Damn, did I say that? Wow. Yeah.
You let it right out.
It
No,
sounded like I said it.
he met her for the first time and said, dude, you're in trouble. He says she's the type of woman who will kill you and mourn harder than anyone at your funeral.
Damn.
I said, well, damn.
It's true confusion right there.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
My
yeah.
God.
And now,
Oh, my Lord.
well, I don't want to ruin my book selection, but look who
sweet
just
Lord.
came in. Some deliciousness for the morning.
Indeed, indeed.
Damn your books.
Fabulous one.
You ain't had breakfast.
Right there. You right there. Although I wish you was right here, but you're right there.
Hey, ugly, come on in here.
Hey, ugly.
Giving
I had to call
Ugly
her
a brand
ugly
new
just
name.
so I don't have an aneurysm when I see her.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
How y'all doing today?
If you ain't had breakfast, it's here. Shit.
Lord.
Christ alive, CJ, Claudia Jordan, murder is in the building. Somebody said, "Oh, late ass." She took Geoff Brown's spot, but it's
She
good.
can have Geoff Brown's spot.
Fine as frog's hair.
Jesus.
Ever seen frog hair? You can't see it. It's too damn fine. Oh my goodness. God bless you for coming.
God bless
Well, I didn't
you.
come yet, but
Well, just breathing hard.
Well,
okay.
there's still time.
Yes.
what's up?
All right, so we're going through my book selections. So let me just finish this off really quickly, and
Don't
we're
do
good.
it quickly though. It's been going so good. Take your time.
Okay, here we go. A lot of people are afraid of this guy right here.
Oh, God.
Aleister Crowley. This is called The Book of Lies. People ask me what I'm reading. This is a very, very, very deep book. It's a book of riddles, psychological riddles, and it actually forces you to think differently. Let me give you an example.
Yeah, give me one now.
Here's a riddle at the beginning of the book with no words. This is what I love about it. Oh, man. Old ass man
He old too.
gave me this book. The first riddle is a question mark. And then the next riddle,
It's an exclamation point.
Exclamation point.
all it means is question, answer. Right? So he has a bunch of crazy, thought-bending kind of riddles. Trust me, this is a book. Don't be afraid. I know there's some Christian
And does
folk out
exclamation
there.
mark means answer or respond or
It means answer.
react?
I
It
think
means
excitement.
answer?
It means answer.
I think it mean what you think it mean.
That's what I'm thinking. Okay.
Damn it, Jeff.
Sorry.
What?
Should we give it all away?
Oh, my
Book
bad.
of
I'm
lies.
just saying. I
Sounds like a conversation that like potheads have, you know.
that's
Well, you
right
know,
where I
he was
going.
fucking around with LSD. So, yeah.
Here, I'm just gonna put a question
As
mark on this
recently
page.
as last week. But okay, go ahead.
Another great book. You know, I'm always talking about the cultural divide. You know, niggas seem to be the dumbest culturally on the planet Earth.
Wow.
because
Are you
we've
kidding?
been- I'm just saying, we've
Yeah,
been
but
raped
black people are pretty smart though.
It's the niggas
Culturally?
that's stupid.
Black people are
Well,
very
yeah,
smart.
black people are very
Them
smart.
niggas are a different thing.
Yeah.
My mom always said if you get enough shit together, you can build you a nigga.
Wow.
That
But
is
black people,
hilarious.
that's
Niggas
a
are built
whole
out of
different
shit.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah, niggas.
Yes.
But black people, I know some smart black people now.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, God. Here's a great book about African presence in early Asia by Runoko Rashidi. And it talks about China, Korea, you know, all Laos, Thailand, all of these places that are considered different ethnically, but are rooted in African,
African
DNA.
culture? Yes,
Come
sir.
on, man.
Where
This
they
is-
booties at then?
Where they booties?
Fell
You
off.
want to borrow this?
Where
This
the
is a
booties at?
heater. When I tell you this is a heat
And
rock,
you've read all these books now?
I've read every last one of them.
Cover to cover?
Cover to
Or
cover.
just
So
flip
how
through?
much time did you do?
How much time?
I was wondering.
They're black men who
You should know.
Damn it.
All net. Just came in, ripped her warm-ups off, and
Yeah, just
My
you know,
experience is, you know,
wide open in the corner.
not all, but a lot of fellows that are into poetry and reading books and religion
have done time.
have done time.
Been locked down and had a lot of time on their hands.
I'm very proud to say I've never spent a day in jail.
Still early. Still early.
It's still early. Yeah, it's true. Very great book. Next book. I told you guys about one of these books that Quincy Jones told me to get. It was called Power versus Force, written by the same.
How did the conversation go?
Oh, he was like, "Hey, man, shit, you know, you gotta read, you know, upgrade your thought process, shit, you know. That's the only way you're gonna change the world, man. You know, your thoughts are your reality, you know." Then the wind opened
true.
his doors. He said, "See, shit, that's God. We're talking about it. God's in the room." You know. By the way, get this book. I said, "Okay, what book?" He said, "Power versus Force," and I got it. And then I found out that there was a whole series of books by the same author, Dr. David R. Hawkins, MD, PhD. This book is called Discovery of the Presence of God, Devotional Non-Duality. Very heavy shit. This is not for the faint-hearted. So
So that's being devoted about one thing?
go ahead. What?
Non-duality, devotional.
Again,
Okay.
spiritually, it just means what we tend to do is split things into positive and negative, good and bad, right and wrong. And whenever you put yourself in a position of right and wrong, you create opposites. And he's saying at the highest level of spirituality, there's non-duality. Everything is one.
Exactly.
Very heavy, very heavy shit.
That's exactly true.
Look close at the Bible.
Yeah, wherever there's division, there's always struggle.
There's always struggle, and that's what this book is about.
From
Why does human nature, like, we want to be divided like that? It seems like we do that to ourselves a lot.
Oh, go deeper, Claudia.
And I'm serious. Like, we always have to make something a negative, like a us versus them.
Yeah.
See, people think Claudia ain't deep, but she deep.
Oh, she deep and wide.
Deep
and wide.
Fun.
No, not wide.
Deep and wide.
I'm not wide, but I am
Deep
deep.
and narrow. What are we doing?
I saw what you said.
Canal is narrow.
Okay.
Okay.
I see her in the refrigerator light after we finish with some incense burning. Girl, go get me some Kool-Aid. Let's talk about that, what you was talking about. Oh, my God.
Okay, I only got 2 books left. 2 books left, and then we're going to go to break. And when we come back, we're going to start our conversation about the rise. The rise of the effeminate man.
Yeah.
He's been rising
People wonder why I'm
quickly of
single.
late.
The pussification of the new age man.
I feel like it's very much more present in the black community as well.
Oh,
yeah.
This is about to go bad. 323-965-1600.
About to go
Breaks
bad.
my heart because
Yes.
we were the warriors, we were the kings, the strong men of the earth, and now we're doing.
And now we're-
all we do is press edges and choreograph, and there's
Press
nothing wrong with that.
edges and choreograph.
Wow.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, let me finish.
Nigga, did you just say press edges?
And choreograph. I loved it.
That's all we do. We have to be more than that.
Yes. If
Can you change a tire around this bitch? I mean,
Wow. This is going to
And
be
it seems like every major sister that gets a show has to have a best friend that is effeminate. It's like they have to. It's part of the criteria.
And I mean Atlanta feminine.
Yeah, how'd you get to be so strong?
Okay.
Well, I guess
6'3", 235,
Over here
going
going.
through Lenox Mall in pumps. Like that.
Yeah.
All right,
come on.
let me get these last books.
Damn it.
The Kabbalion. A lot of people don't know about this. The 7
Kabbalion?
Hermetic Principles
Ooh.
of Hermes.
Come on, the Hermetic Principles deep.
This shit is so. Hey.
and most hood rats thinks Hermes is a designer.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Right, they go,
Hermes.
oh, Hermes.
Hermes.
They don't even know what it
Hermes.
means,
No.
right?
Heifer.
Hermes is a Greek god who is the Greek interpretation of the Egyptian Thoth.
Yes.
Right, where we get our English word thought.
Yes.
Right, this dude is Cole. This book is so heavy, and of course
smart
it's by Yogi Publications. And I always say white people take our shit, recontextualize it, make it evil to us,
Well,
so
Yeah.
we don't read it anymore.
Frightens
and
us
then
from
they
it.
put it in a
Yeah.
book like this. I'm just sorry, it's the truth.
They say if
Shit.
you want to hide something from a nigga,
Put it in the book.
Put it in a book. God damn it.
put it in a book or in the
don't
lap
worry
of a
about it,
black woman.
Speedy.
Wow.
Speedy, if you're listening, Hermes is not the Greek god of cold sores.
Oh,
Or coleslaw in his case.
cold cuts. Yes.
Oh God. Okay, and this is a book that I gave my
My
daughter.
favorite.
I gave this to my daughter because I mean, a lot of people are, we talk shit about black men and black women. We go in. We tell the truth. We stay on our own head out here. But I think if you educate the kids when they're young, while they're interested in what the fuck you got to say,
The tree is soft.
you've got to upgrade the content while they're young. So I gave my daughter this book, and it's called Black Women for Beginners. And what it is a retrospect of great black women.
Who is it by? Who is it by?
Who is it by? It's by Sandra Pearl Sharp. And I got it at this convention, and I was like, man, I got to give this to my
I'm
baby
purchasing
girl.
2 copies today.
It's incredible. It's a retrospective history.
Show them some of that you're flipping
of
through.
black women, man. It's so fucking
We need that
cold.
now.
Show the
more
viewers.
than-
Show
more
the
than
viewers
ever.
the inside. Some of the stuff you just flipped. That's
And it's-
fabulous
And
stuff.
it's the dark ages right now for black women as well.
amazing.
Self-esteem and the things
It
we
really
put up
is.
with.
It
That should
really
be
is.
required reading before
and
you
how
can
we
buy Indian hair.
we treat them,
Right.
You know,
And what
how-
we're accepting these
how we
days.
treat them, and I think we should give more glory to black women
Right.
than anybody because that's what my mommy is, my grandmama, and my woman, my queen, and my
That's right.
daughter are all black women. We
women.
should show them great respect. That's why I'm buying 2. I'm buying one for my daughter and one for my woman today. Before
There
the
you go.
close of business today, I'm getting that book. It's an excellent book.
And then the final book of today, of course, my book, The Rebirth of Seeds, written by Zoe Williams. If you want a copy,
The
all you have
Rebirth
to do-
of
Seeds.
Oh, I like
And
that.
it's a metaphor because this is a picture of me when I was 3.
Wow.
And the metaphor says...
Well, you had blacker features back then.
Yeah.
Hysterical!
Go get a nose job or something?
Hilarious!
Let me find out you did all this black shit and you got a nose job.
No,
And you got a nose job.
Let me find out.
That's your ass.
Psycho Jackson in the building. Anyway.
And contacts. I'm kidding.
No, but this is the metaphor was, you know, we always say, I wish I knew what I know now when I was younger. And this is saying, I'm putting the seeds that I know now in a book for my children, which is the rebirth of me. So they're going to know what I know now because I'm teaching it to them now.
Because I'm giving it to them. That's the point.
The rebirth of seeds. If you want a copy of it, just email me right now at 2319ZO1@gmail.com. That's how you get it. Just holla at me.
Somebody in the chat room.
What I know now.
They asked, how
Yes.
can they get the book about the
When
black
I was
women? Where can they
younger.
get this book?
With all the books, come on, Amazon, Google. I mean, we're in the information age.
I'm
What I
going
got
to
to
the
do?
black
If
stores.
you have
They
to-
told me 2 black stores today.
Go to Essowan if you're
Zaza and Essowan.
Yeah, Zara. and
Zara
Essowan.
and Essowan.
Sandra
Yeah.
Sharp is the author of the Black Woman book. So
Yeah.
SAUNDRA Sharp.
Yeah,
Check that
and-
out.
Her middle name is Pearl.
Pearl, exactly. And like I said, if you want a copy of the Rebirth of Seeds, I will autograph it for you. Just email me and follow me at Zoe Williams. I gotta
want
take
a
a
copy.
quick
Can
break.
I write you a note from here? Because I need a copy of that.
Just long it's a promissory note that's green with white presidents on it.
see.
Then yes, we're good.
How much is your book?
It's $13.
Jesus.
So somebody call me right
$1
now.
per page.
Magic, that's hilarious.
Hilarious.
Okay.
However, if it's a little,
That's good.
it's slightly more because if I mail it to you, I got to add in all that
That's
fees
true.
and
Shipping.
But listen, I got to take a quick break. When I come
small
back,
thing.
the effeminate man. The rise of the effeminate man. Is this now
Jeepers.
the catch?
Keep him down.
Wow, somebody got to get on these phone lines right now. Ask
right,
Claudia
Gio.
Jordan how many effeminate men she's run into, especially here in L.A. Is it a
Or
regional
dated.
thing?
Oh, my
What
sweet
is going
dick, can you
on?
imagine?
Jesus.
Just today.
323-965-1600. I'll be back in 2.2. Holla!
Claudia.
Linda needs
Can't
some
do Big
headphones.
Luther.
Oh, yeah. And we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, so what mornings? You know, unfortunately, Dr. Mark Goulston isn't here, but he'll be back next week. This show is crazy. We've been talking about it. Last week's show was about the alpha male.
Me.
Me too, and
Thank you.
Geoff.
Yeah.
And is there a scarcity of alpha men? And if there are, what would the majority of men be? And what I'm hearing a lot of women say is that there are a lot of effeminate dudes out there.
Placebos.
Placebo men. Wow.
Okay, gangsters.
Wow. So let me do this really quick. Let me reintroduce everybody that's at the table and on the panel right now. And I urge you to call in if you have an experience with an effeminate man or an opinion or whatever.
With a
The number to
placebo.
call is 323-965-1600. To my immediate left, deliciousness personified.
My sweet Lord.
God damn it, I wish I could win the lottery so I could then have a legitimate stake.
Me too.
Yes, Claudia Jordan in the building.
Hey,
Welcome.
So, let me move this. Hi.
Hey. Yeah, Jesus. And I didn't forgot this dude's
You
name.
forgot
Look at
my
her.
name. She took it.
Dude over here.
Geoff Brown?
Jeff Brown.
I
in
say
the-
you don't need to win the lottery. Claudia don't need no rich. You need a regular dude. You need a street sweeper, but the supervisor.
Well, I do have retarded ejaculation, so that could be very, very
How do you know
helpful.
that?
Whew. Look it up. Look it up.
Wait, what do
Dysfunction.
you mean retarded ejaculation?
It just takes a long time for me to do it.
Oh, you mean by the time? As in
Yeah.
the time is retarded. I thought you
45,
could look right at your
an hour and
swimmers.
30.
I thought you could look right at your swimmers and go, "This is just full of idiots, right?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
Because I mean, I do
this
need to
guy's
have
not
a,
holding a full deck.
I want a baby in the next couple of years, but I don't want to. So, not that- No, sorry, no offense.
One more time.
Oh God!
No offense to those out there with the
You
fins.
are cool like an ugly girl.
Yes, I am.
You're cool like an ugly girl.
I mean, more power to the mothers out there that are raising those, but I don't think I could do it.
You're cool like
I don't have that kind of patience. I can't wipe drool, and I don't know.
Yeah, that whole helmet window licking thing.
It
The
takes
only
some
thing
patience for that.
The only thing,
Window licking.
the only thing I want with fins are fish and seals. Like
Let
I
me
don't.
tell you
I
something.
can't
My
have
next
babies.
baby come out retarded. I'm making fun of him.
Yeah.
I'm
Be a
making fun of my
comedian.
own baby. That's entertainment.
Black people are good for that, though.
I'm gonna
Okay.
cancel cable and give him a firecracker and a hammer and a cat.
Get him a hoop to jump
a
through.
What you got cable for? You got a retarded boy.
And legendary comedian,
Oh, funny.
entertainer.
Yes.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
this dude is great. He's an author as well.
Thank
Always
you very
dressed.
much.
Michael Colyar
Thank you very
in
much.
the building.
Hello. I'm glad to be here, man. Great topics, great people talking to. Y'all
Come
have
on,
great
man.
minds, so this is
Come
exciting
on.
stuff. Thank you.
And we have a beautiful and validating presence. Whenever there's white in the building, they validate our arguments. A white woman.
And our parking.
From the accounting firm of Ernst & Young.
Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, DT, that's her pen name, but she's the author of a book called
The Caveman Formula.
The Caveman. She's going to try to help uneffeminize
That's right.
the effeminate man.
Thank you. Say
Linda Gross is in the building. What's up, Linda?
Hey, girl.
Oh, good morning.
You got
Thanks
your
for
work
having
cut
me.
out for you.
Damn. Here we go. Question. In today's day and age, would you say there are more effeminate men than there are manly men
I think that is true. And
today?
I think that is true, yes.
Why do you think that's the issue here?
Well, go through a little history. I think it started along with women's lib back in the 70s, and women started out with a very good premise back then, equal pay for equal work. And the reason why women were entering the workforce was because of the invention of the pill, which happened in the late 60s. By the time it got in everybody's hands, it was a few years later. So the early 70s, women decided I have control over my body. I don't have to get pregnant, be barefoot and pregnant every minute. So I'm going to decide when I'm going to get pregnant. In the meanwhile, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to get an education, or I'm going to go to work. So they started off with this movement, equal pay for equal work. Lovely, great premise. They couldn't solve it. So what they decided to do is take that outward, and they decided to hate on men.
How so? Examples.
Well, it was because they could put food on the table now, and they could work. They kicked all their men out. It was the highest divorce rate in our history. Kicked them all out, said, get out of here. I can put bacon on the table now. I don't need you. And while you're at it, stay away from my son. I don't need you for that either. I'm going to raise my son myself.
Wow.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
So this is the feminist
start.
concept of the disposable man.
Right.
I.e. Beyonce to the left. Go deeper.
That's right. So, back then there is a way to solve the problem with the equal pay, and that's going to be an upcoming book. Mm-hmm. But the way they did it back then was to demand it. I demand a raise, or I demand a promotion, or I demand this job just because I'm a woman. The whole quota thing. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work that way. The business person doesn't care about all that. Mm-hmm. The business person's looking at the bottom line. Are you adding value to my company? If you're not adding value to my company, I'm not hiring you, promoting you, or anything else.
Wow.
So it wasn't so cut and dry, and unfortunately the women of the day didn't get that. They wanted to demand it.
Claudia, do you agree or disagree with the young white woman?
I think a lot. I think a lot of that makes sense, and shame on the women out there that would ever try to keep a father away from their son and then complain about it later on. Yeah. I feel like no matter what the relationship is, like that, you're doing such a disservice to a generation. You know what I mean? Like then that boy is not brought up right, and then the damage he does to his kids, if he even has them these days.
Exactly.
And I think society is such a mess now. Wow, my parents got divorced when I was 10, and my mother she never badmouthed my father, although she could have, but she didn't. She wanted him to be around us, and we ended up being attached to other male figures in our lives, like our coaches. Like we got it from somewhere else, and respectable black men in our family, like around the way, that we could just like see fatherly qualities, and you just need that in your life. You cannot do it by yourself. Wow. That's why I refuse to be a baby mama. I'm 39 years old, no kids. I do not want to do it unless I have a presence in the house with me raising my kids. It's not happening.
Wow.
I had a gay cat that I raised. So I know I'm gonna do damage with a son.
Well, did your nurturing turn the cat gay?
Probably so. Like, and how I knew my cat was gay, and my other cat kittens, and the boy cat went under the bed and only dragged out the boy kittens and would lick them between the legs. I'm like, did I create this monster? Is this my fault?
Jesus.
I don't know.
I got a taste for kitten balls.
Oh, God.
I think on the question if are men are more effeminate, are there more effeminate men than straight males? And I think there's not more. I just think that the gay guys that are out there are more apparent. We see so many. For the longest, we wouldn't see gay men. They would keep that more quiet. But now they're so bold. So now we see so many gay people in television, jump right off her skirt. And they're everywhere. So you see so many that now you think, wow, it's so many. But they still don't outnumber the men. And I agree that it's the absence of a strong male presence in the household, because you mimic what you see. If you are just around women who's only acting feminine, you're going to want to act that way because that's all you're learning and that's all you know. Most of us are a product of our environment.
Indeed. Yeah. Go deeper, Geoff Brown.
I agree with 97% of what you just said.
What is the 3% that you disagree with?
That there are less, that the only feminine men are out there because we see more gay men. Gay men and effeminate men, I kind of put them in a different category.
I do too.
Yes, I agree.
I'm talking about
just because he's effeminate doesn't
watery.
mean.
I'm not talking about dudes that walk with their wrist around. I'm talking about dudes that make watery decisions.
Straight men that are feminine, that act feminine.
You mean a guy who spends most of his time placating to his woman, not being his authentic self for the sake of keeping her.
Not even her.
To me, is effeminate.
Not even her, us.
And it has nothing to do with your sexuality.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with gay men at all. Like, I do feel like there's an argument about being born that way. I really do think there's a case for that. But I'm talking about men that are straight, that call themselves straight men, that live as straight men, that are very bitchy, are very feminine, are very argumentative like women, and worrying about petty things, gossiping, can't change a tire, you can't hook up my stereo. What is going on with you?
But
I have to always be on top. What the hell?
This is how you point out, in my opinion.
That's okay, actually.
This is how you point out the gay thug. Because wherever, and research backs this, there's empirical data out there that
gay
backs this. Wherever you see the hyper masculine dude, that's the dude who's insecure about his sexuality. It's okay to see a Claudia Jordan, and any real man doesn't necessarily have to go, well, goddamn, no, he could just look and be like, wow, she's beautiful. Yeah. But it's the secretly gay guy that wants to make a scene about how beautiful she is.
Right. Just look at her too long and get in trouble like the rest of us.
Yeah, that man is operating, in my opinion, is operating from a place of fear. The man who is, young men who were raised by these women from the women's lib, they went to one extreme or the other. They either became so effeminate and mamsy-pamsy, whatever, did whatever the mama told them to do, or they went the other extreme and knew in their soul, they knew this wasn't right. So then they decided to hate on women, and the way that manifests itself is they became cocky, arrogant, cheaters, players, so like the other extreme.
Right.
So you either have one group who's resigned or the other group who's overacting out.
Right.
To me, both sets of men are not authentic men. If you're going to be cocky and arrogant and all that, it means you're operating from a place of fear. Because a real man, he has what I call quiet confidence.
Love that.
You
Right
don't
on.
have to bring that out until there's a threat or there's an issue, and you have to bring it out.
Exactly.
Outside of that, 99% of the time, you're cool. You're confident. You don't have to be boastful about it.
Wow.
Exactly.
We notice
I
when you're
agree with
confident.
that.
We notice your strength. You don't
Yeah,
have
you
to
can't
tell
fake
us.
confidence.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
you don't have to beat your chest.
So let's do this. Without the next question, without the balance of fatherhood, at what point can motherhood become toxic to the gender development of young boys?
Wait, say that again?
Without the fatherhood presence in the house, at what point can the motherhood energy, the mom's energy, become toxic to the gender development? Because there's this thing out there called imprint vulnerability.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I'm starting to see some shit in my mother's environment that makes me think that's the way I should act because I don't have the counterbalancing energy, the father energy. 323-965-1600. Dinah, South Carolina, you're in the building.
Hi.
What's happening?
Hey.
Hey.
I have a question towards the author, Miss T.L.
That's DT Linda Gross.
I'm sorry, BT. My question is, I'm not trying to dissuade your point with the women's lib and, you know, the outcome being effeminate men. But my question to you is, if the women at the time became more ultra, quote-unquote, manly, and if they did kick the man out, how could that in turn turn their child effeminate? If the woman now at that time had more manly or men roles, you know what I mean? It seems like these are the women who were burning their bras, saying, I don't need this, I don't need a man for this, I can change my own tire, I can do this. So if you have that kind of woman in your household, how can your man be effeminate?
Deep. Go deeper. DT, that was for you.
That's a good one.
She took umbrage with what you had to say. Go deeper.
Go deeper.
Well, the myth that was propagated at that time was these women said the sexes are the same, meaning that that woman could change the tire or fix the stereo or, you know, do all these quote-unquote manly things, mow the yard. So they were giving a message to the son that the sexes are the same. So thereby, if the sexes are the same, we don't need men. That we're all the same. What's the useful purposefulness of a man other than having his sperm to create another child?
Right.
So I applaud Claudia's mom from her talk earlier. And I think her mom was rare in that generation, that what they should have done, these women, they should have said, okay, I made a bad choice. I picked a bad man.
No,
or a guy.
hell no. Women being accountable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Right, but they
That's
didn't
some
do
hard
that.
shit to do.
So-
They got to get to Iyanla, Fix
Yeah.
My Life, and
Yeah.
she got to cuss them out in a sweet voice
Yeah.
to get them to say, you know what, it was my fault.
Women
But
being
up to that
accountable or
point,
people being accountable? Like
Women.
No, women.
Men.
Women.
Men are
Women.
what? I
One
don't
of
know
my
about
favorite movies, as good as it gets.
Woo, elevator scene.
The elevator scene with Jack.
Yeah.
The lady walks up to him and says, why is it that you can write about women so well? How is it that you're able to do that? He says, I take away reason and
No,
accountability.
I start with a man.
Then I take
And then
away,
I take
away from
away
there.
reason and accountability.
Right.
What he's saying is, to me, this is a stereotype. Yes, women are more emotional than men. However, that doesn't mean women aren't logical. But
Right.
what he's saying is sometimes the emotions override their ability to reason.
Right.
And also be accountable for the catastrophe that is their lives.
Oh, yeah.
323-965-1600. Come on.
I would
Let her
say
have
20
some.
years ago you were correct, but now
Today!
by your own account and your own show topic today with the effeminization of men, that we are at a place now where I see a lot more men being more emotional than women. I
Claudia,
deal with men very logically, and I've been seeing emotional.
You're an anomaly.
And those men act like
rare.
and those men act like
Bitches.
women. Exactly. Which brings
Well,
us
bitches,
back to
all
dope.
bitches ain't women.
Okay, yeah, okay, Claudia, you are you're riding the ragged edge of something that really, really pisses me off with really quality women. Why do you circle the wagons around raggedy bitches? Why do you act like they don't exist?
Wow.
That's not true. That is absolutely not true. I talk about raggedy bitches all the time.
Well,
and
that's who we're talking
and I feel
about
like they're
right now.
bringing us down.
Absolutely, not
Right.
us,
But-
them.
But do you think
If you think that women don't do that, if you got 2 hours after this show, I'll drive you by my ex-wife's house. We'll play
I
Spades.
can drive you by some ex-boyfriends' houses?
Oh,
I'm
no,
just
but
saying.
I'm not saying that they don't do that.
I
I'm
feel
not
like-
saying that 20 years ago anything is different.
Remember we made in the beginning, we made the comment like, it's us versus them, and that's what we're doing, okay?
Right.
Yes.
It's us versus them again. No, but women are worse. No, but men are worse. I'm not saying one is worse than the other. I'm saying that that shitty women probably create bad men, and bad men probably help to create bad women.
You know what? You're
we can't
right,
just
Claudia.
put it all on.
No.
It's women doing this.
This is a good point. However,
not.
There you go.
DT made a great point earlier about women's lib. And she said it started out in a great place because it was about equal pay. So guess what? When you ask to come into the men's club, which is corporate America, right? When you ask to come there, studies have shown that by bringing women in to corporate America, testosterone levels rise in women because they have to match the aggression and the tenacity and the competitive nature.
They have to fit in.
They
Of the
have
male.
to fit in.
To stay,
So what
yeah.
happens is, if you're looking at it objectively, why can't women say, I'm a fucking wreck in my relationship because I'm more masculine? Because of the environment that I work in. If we talk to corporate America women, and I know a bunch of them. I know a sister who built the fucking monument, right? She's one of my good friends. She built the Martin Luther King monument.
Okay.
She's a CEO all the time. She can't turn the CEO off. She's big dog with big balls all the time. So how can she play the woman role in a man-woman situation?
Oh, I went through that myself for years. And finally I woke up and I said, you know what? Life is not fair. Sometimes you got to, play that hand that's dealt to you. And the way I broke out of that is at 6 p.m., I turned that shit off. I mean, I could be corporate and I could have the testosterone and the aggression and all that, but that's not conducive.
But
to having a good
doesn't it all
relationship.
come back to
It's-
immediate environment though?
So-
Yes.
It comes back to who your mom and them is, who them folks you were raised with are.
Now we're talking about
'cause
generational
my
curses.
mama raised 5 boys. None of us came out effeminate that I know of. And out of 5 of us, cause my father just wasn't on the job. He was a great man, but he was a professional alcoholic at the time.
Right.
And she got tired of that and left him after 25 years of marriage and raised all 5 of us to be responsible and to do all the right things. But it could have gone another way.
Right.
She could have raised us where she could have been dogging my father and teaching us that men ain't shit and we should be more like women.
Right.
And we could have taken on effeminate traits or effeminate ideals. So
But maybe women are asking for things now that they're making more money and are better educated. Maybe women are asking for things that only an effeminate man can deliver.
like what? Like what? Give me an example.
Because let's go deeper here. The day of breaking down an engine and rebuilding it and
Right.
carrying a refrigerator is over.
Yeah.
If you get this book by Daniel Pink, right? It's called A Whole New Mind. It talks about the day of the industrial worker. That shit is gone. We're now in the day of the knowledge worker.
Right.
So a traditional man, rough hands and calluses and shit, that guy is a dinosaur.
But he still exists.
But he still exists.
He ain't a dead dinosaur.
So the point that I'm making is maybe now the new woman is saying, I need a man that's in touch with his emotions. I need a man that's empathetic. I need a man that's spiritually understanding, that has a contextual understanding of who he is. And maybe the men that are more like that are effeminate. Because the traditional minded man is, this is my shit, this is my cave, this is my remote.
I don't think so.
You come and go as you
I don't
please.
think so. I come up in the environment I'm in is at a church called Agape. In our environment where all of those things
Now,
that you talk about
Agape
a
is
man
high-end spirit shit.
Yeah, exactly.
The average dude is
can't
fucking
deal with that.
Roscoe's chicken and waffles.
But I don't know the average dude, but I'm going to Roscoe's later and get a 2-piece and a biscuit. But what I'm saying is, so the group of people I come from is all about unfolding into your greater self.
Right.
And so that allows you to be in touch with who you are, to be in touch without having to change what you are.
But if
so
we're
you can
grading-
still be a man who remembers the original values of men, of treating women like the gentle spirits they're supposed to be.
Right.
And women are more emotional. And so we have to respect that and love that.
I think sometimes we overthink things as well. Like, I think men sometimes think we have these unrealistic, like I don't need that whole checklist. I really don't. I need basic man shit, okay? I need you to be able to make a decision. I don't need you to cry to me about everything that happened to you when you were 5 years old, but I will listen. I'll be there, that strong woman to listen to you if you need it to. I've had a guy cry to me, and I thought that was the most masculine thing ever. Don't do it every day, though. All right.
Yeah. What if he's masculine as shit, but he's sensitive?
He needs 1 1/4. He gets 1 1/4.
I need a guy that can
Can a dude cry in front of you, Claudia?
A guy has cried to me, and I was in love with him. Okay, because it was some deep shit that he was crying over. He's not crying about.
So he was in touch with emotions without being effeminate.
He was. It was. I understood why he was crying. It was something that happened to him that was very painful when he was a kid. So that makes sense. But don't cry because you couldn't get the new Jordans. Don't cry
Claudia,
because I beat you in bowling. Don't cry because you stubbed your toe.
Well, Claudia, here's a great
Make a
question.
decision.
And this is for the women on the panel.
And can I just say one more thing? And don't glorify, like I had a conversation with some guys yesterday, glorifying how they're taken care of by women, like they buy them this stuff and they don't have to do anything. I think that is the most bitchiest type of male.
I think that's the bitchiest shit
bragging,
in the world.
But then the other guys were co-signing, like, yeah, you that player. You know, you're
I
not
got a
that
son
player.
that's like that bitch ass nigga. He ain't shit.
There you
34.
go. Good people on
34 and he ain't shit.
Not
And he's
attractive.
just like that. It's not attractive. It's ugly. It's weak.
The funny thing is, a guy that has this stuff together, I'd want to do stuff for. But that
There
guy
you
that
go.
needs me, you need to borrow my car all the time. You don't have it together. I would not even get excited for you.
Run from that
see,
motherfucker.
I always go back. See, you said something that was very poignant. I always go back.
I usually do.
Women are materializers. You guys are materializers. The word mother, material, matter, matriarch, all of these have the same root. So at the end of the day, there is no Malcolm X without Betty Shabazz materializing his movement. There is no Martin Luther King without Coretta Scott materializing the movement. That's the same way the basic functionality of a battery works. You have the positive end, you have the negative end. The negative end is the feminine side.
It's a universal truth,
But
though.
listen
You
to
can't
this.
get around that universal truth.
The positive side does not have the power. It's the material side, the mother side that has all the power. All the masculine side does is direct the energy
to it.
When a man has an idea, a concept, a belief, and a confidence in himself, he will attract a woman that will pull out that fucking endeavor that he didn't know was in him. It is your job to stand behind your man and help materialize.
I'm with that.
If you're looking for a dude that has it already together, he has no need for you. You're a materializer.
Well,
that's the purpose of femininity.
Can I get
Go deeper,
algebraic
Geoff.
on? I'm gonna go ahead and get algebraic on that. If you are looking for a fantastic man already,
Right.
everything in his life is already fantastic. You have no place.
You become
to
a
come
trinket,
in. You
a
can't come
bauble.
in. That's
Ha.
like take
Where's your
Pauletta.
place?
Take
I will
Pauletta.
wear you on my wrist.
Pauletta fixed Denzel's teeth. Okay? If they ever break up, he need to break bread.
Right.
But if you roll up on a dude that's got $50 million already and got all his eggs in a basket, there is no way for you to prove yourself incredible to him.
That's
How do you
great.
do it?
That's not true.
Okay, name 3 ways you can prove yourself incredible.
Because someone can be very successful and have a lot of money through athletic ability because he was a singer, whatever, but be a tortured soul.
Okay.
He may need someone to listen to him. He may need you to be strong for him in other ways.
Therapist?
Yes, he has his money.
Tell your therapist.
Black guys don't go to therapy. They need to, though.
They
Okay,
should.
listen, I've
Wait.
been told,
I've been therapist.
guys and ladies, I've been told that we have somebody calling from Canada. We need to get this international call in for
Long
their
distance.
minutes. Yes.
Okay.
Melanin Rich from Toronto, holler at us.
Love the name.
What's happening, people?
What's
What
up,
up?
man?
What's going on?
How are you?
Okay, I just want to say that, I feel like, in a relationship, a man and a woman, they attract their polar opposites. So if there was no ultra masculine females, we would have a lot less effeminate men out there.
But what came first, the chicken or the egg?
It was definitely the chicken.
The hairdresser or the truck driver? Which one? Who was it?
Or the choir director. Which one came first?
You know, it just depends on your perspective, but, you know, you kind of consider one without the other, right?
Wow.
I think the chicken or the egg. I think it came from the woman.
That's an interesting.
Absolutely.
The woman really has all the control. She
does.
always
Yeah,
has. You know,
that's
those
one thing
crazy
too.
women back then, you know, they just thought that they didn't have control, but they really do. When you get
Yeah, they
into
do.
your femininity, there's no better control than that. And like you say, the battery just by itself, it's not going to go anywhere. It requires that female energy to make it work.
Do you think it's really the woman's fault and that things were great and they just said, oh, let me just go fuck it up by being a bitchy?
Yeah.
I think, no, women were getting their asses beat. They had no rights. They couldn't even vote. And then they had to fight to change things. If that's coming across masculine, I'm sorry, but that helped get us some equal rights around this bitch.
Claudia,
Right.
I
No,
love
that's a
you.
good
I
point.
love
So
you,
let-
but that's
wait.
short-sighted.
Let's do this.
Women were getting beat down back then, and they had to put up with it and just deal with it. Why are you making waves, baby, in your family? My father's family helped him cheat on my mother. So it's like
That's
people
a great family.
Well, maybe to him.
Those are great people.
But it did damage. It did damage to the kids. It did damage to myself. It did damage to my brother. We
No, that's
saw
true.
that. That's not cool to help give my father an alley-oop and an alibi. That's not cool.
Right.
Because we have a warped perception of how a relationship is now and how a family should be.
And that cheating's okay.
Right.
So like
That's
we can
the
make
lesson
jokes
taught
about
there.
it, but really, I mean, is that really cool? No.
Right. Hey, so listen,
So-
we got to do this really quickly. We have so many callers.
very
Let's go
passionate.
deeper. I love the passion. Michael from Texas, you're in the building. Let's go. The phone lines are on fire. 323-965-1600 is kind of what we do. Let's go.
Yeah, what's going on, people?
What's up, man?
What's up?
I've been saying I like the lady Linda about the caveman.
Right.
Yep.
I've been saying this for a long time to a lot of my friends. Ever since the women lib movement, how has our society gotten better? The
That's who you
kids
ask.
have gotten worse in schools. I used to be a former teacher. Women, schools are predominantly taught by women. Especially black men, we make up less than 1% of nationally in the school districts. Why is that? Because women, they do have that intimidation factor. They don't want a real man around them. They have demanded that job. And when you come into school districts and you are a real man, it scares them. It pulls them back. So our children have failed. Children are not getting better in our society.
Let me do this, brother. I got to cut you off. Those are some great points.
And I
Thank you very
disagree
much.
with all of them.
But let me just say, because I had to move to the next callers. But let me just say, at the end of the day, when we talk about you want control. That's what the movement of the women's lib and the feminism movement is about. We want control of our own shit. Okay, ladies, but guess what happens? In relationship is the place where you have the least control because it requires the most vulnerability.
Oh, wow.
So what happens is on a sociological level, you get that control, but you refuse to relinquish it when you get into a relationship. And then most times you refuse to take responsibility for the failure of the relationship because of your control issues. Next caller, Jay Scholar in the building. Let's go deeper.
I want to respond to you, though.
I want to respond to the
I want
last
to
guy,
respond to that too.
I know. Shit.
I got to respond to the last guy.
Y'all ain't
Teacher.
responding to nobody.
But I don't know what topics have been covered or whatever, but I'm going to just say my piece.
Oh, you just jumped in not knowing the topic? Okay, go deeper.
No, I know
Wow,
the topic.
Jay.
I
This
just
won't
missed
end well.
what has already been said. I didn't want to say something already been said. But anyway, I'm reading Sister Soldier's book, Midnight. I'm on the second one. I just finished the other one. And one thing that this particular Muslim man that was raised by his father and was sent with his mother and sister to protect them, his father instilled in him certain values, and I found them very interesting. He said, women, you are to love them, respect them, cherish them, protect them, but never obey them. They are full of emotion. And when I read that, I mean, all of that power that they demand, that they want, you guys give up something. You give up the power of being the woman. Now, what works in my situation, now, again, just my situation, because everybody's situation is different. Just like Zoe said, the woman has to yield a certain power to move and progress her man, to also provide him peace and pleasure. That those simple things, just as much as what 6 says is fuck them, feed them, and leave them the hell alone, they're both balanced. They're both balanced things, and they're just something that you women give up when you become that woman that society has created y'all to be. My grandmother is a powerful, powerful woman, and she didn't want or need that power, but that power was given to her through time and wisdom and her raising her children well. And, you know, she had to do what she had to do. She got married several times, but the very last man that was good to her, he had the power. And Pop set it up real good for her to be. And Pop been dead for 10 years, and my grandmother's still good. So,
man, I appreciate the call. Thank you very much. Geoff Brown, Claudia Jordan, DT, Linda Gross, as well as Michael Colyar will build on that point and some others that I have made. Go deeper.
I got to say this. Zoe, how many times have I been late this year?
None.
This year. What did you do right before the beginning of this year that...
I had a conversation with your wife.
Had a conversation with my wife. Now,
this
here's
nigga's out of pocket.
Here's a prime example. She did not, shout out to my wife, I love you, baby. She did not cut me off. She didn't make me sleep on the couch. She didn't bicker. She did not argue. She came to me simply and said this, that you are excellent, and everything in you that is not excellent needs to leave. The concept of disrespecting people's time is not an excellent trait. I think you need to look at that. And my monkey ass ain't been late to shit since.
Shout out to her.
She didn't have to beat that into you.
She told me.
She just
said,
spoke that to you. She communicated
she
it.
She told me, she said, tell me, Zoe, do you, because what I said, the motherfucker's always late. Shit, but I ain't telling him, hey, hold on, I'm talking to you. My bad. She was like, no.
That's dope.
I said, what we did was we created a skit out of it. He's late. That gives me and the doc time to say some real heavy, deep shit. So me and the doc gets that deep moment, and it works. She said, Zoe, do you want him there on time? I said, wait a minute. This sounds like I done set the homie up. I said, no, he's good. It works. He's good. She said, I'll have him there.
Shout out to her and how you
shout out
like how she handled it.
But now this
I like
is
how she dealt with that.
And again, this is how my house works. I'm a caveman. She's a queen. There are things my wife is not allowed to do. She's not allowed to answer the door in the dark. She's not allowed to walk the dog in the dark. She's not allowed to take out trash. She's not allowed to open doors. And my son sees that, and this is how he treats her. And this, I don't see anything. She makes more money than me, but I don't. But that's my wife.
Claudia Jordan.
I respect that. As an alpha female, I heard what you were saying, Zoe, about alpha females and not being able to like shut that off from relationships. I'm actually one that can. Like, even if my man, I've been in relationships where the man made less money than me, more money than me, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, just because I'm killing it career-wise, I'm not going to come and shit on him and talk down to him because he's not making as much as me. I feel like that's where you mess up your relationship. And that's your point about women's lib. I get that part as well. I feel like that part of it did damage to relationships. So if you can just keep those two separate, like, yeah, you can be that girl in your career, but that doesn't mean you need to come down and berate your man. You chose to be with that man, whether he makes more or less than you. Right. And if you can keep those two things separate, I think you'll be fine.
And go ahead, Michael.
I think all relationships do come down to communications and relationship. It's how you talk to each other and how you treat each other. And that's not just in a man-woman relationship. It's in all relationships that you have. It's about communications and the relationship, how you treat people, how you talk to people. I admire the way that your wife dealt with that. You know, she didn't come at you heavy-handed or anything. She came to you and reasoned with you about getting what you want best out of a situation. But all that comes back to respect.
Powerful.
Yeah, and it all comes down to respecting each other.
And going back to the effeminate man, a lot of men these days that I have met are not able to communicate with you. And when you do, like, I've had a conversation with someone, I was like, I need to talk to you about something. And that freaked him out and scared him. And I can't talk. And what is it about? Can you text me what it means first? And I'm like, wow, this is such a bitchy thing. Like, what is wrong with you?
Can we just talk?
It's just a conversation. And he freaked out. And what I was
grow a pair.
Exactly. And so how can we make a better relationship if you're too afraid to have a talk? And then that's coming to you in your mind like, I'm going to like come down on him or I'm going to cuss him out. And I wasn't. It wasn't even about anything serious. Right. And I've seen this time and time again with men that are even afraid to even get on the phone. And then they use the text messaging and to hide behind it.
You know what?
There's no emotion.
I think that's, I don't know if that's an effeminate trait. I think effeminate men, as well as gay men, because let's not forget, women have a gang of gay friends, and they're able to talk to the gay dude like it's a girl.
There's a reason for that.
But see, my point is, the regular dude is the dude that's closed off in terms of emotion and communication. To me, the caveman is like that. It's a Renaissance man who is in touch with himself and can communicate how he feels. That's the new age. That's the new age man. Right. I think the effeminate man, he kind of bridges the gap. Do you understand? Like, okay, he can talk, I can connect, I can communicate, he can understand, whereas my other guy goes into the goddamn cave and shuts me out.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I think women actually use those effeminate men to be able to have relationship with men, to be able to talk and communicate in ways that they can't with their dude.
I agree with that.
Somebody talk to me about that.
Let's not say that the caveman doesn't have that skill at all, because I know that he does. He might not want to talk to you the minute he walks in that door.
Right.
Give him a half an hour of chill time, and then he'll come back and talk about whatever you want.
But let's remember, the caveman is a problem solver. Homo habilis, he who works with tools. Right. When he comes to a woman, first off, a woman is far more sophisticated in communication. Ooh. So when he's listening to you, he's listening to solve.
Right. How can I solve this?
How can I fix this? What do you want? Tell me what I can do.
Exactly.
And that pisses her off.
Because a lot of times she don't want anything to be fixed. She just wants you to hear what she has to say.
Exactly. Don't fix it, because that almost aggravates it sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not asking you to fix
you're not asking for a fix.
Hear me out, please. I need to just vent, and you feel sorry for me. We need that.
She just wants to talk to her dude and feel comfortable in revealing whatever it is she has to reveal. Geoff Brown.
Here's the algebraic other side of that equation. Is the quickest way to make your man feel worthless is give him a wheelbarrow full of shit he can't fix. Okay? That's for your friends.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
Pick 3 and talk to your friends about that other shit. But my wife is good at that. She does not overload me with all the shit she wants to talk about. She talks and she picks 3. And then the other 19, she on the phone with. And I'm good with that because that's my time over here.
I'm just going to say, with all of the influences that we have in America, technology, education, freedoms, resources, all of this stuff comes to bear on our philosophy about relationships. So what happens is women are confused. At the end of the day, men are confused. You live in a patriarchy. And women are confused. You have women that are acting like men because of their progression in technology and education and finance and money. So what happens is...
And for men taking off.
Right, men taking off, the whole 9 yards.
Forget about that.
No, we can't. But what happens is this great confusion. In the world, you have 2 types of societies with regards to relationships. You have a patriarchy. In other words, men dominate the ideas of relationships. Women, behind me, stand down. Then you have an egalitarian society where women are equal to men, where women bring what they bring to the table, men bring what they bring to the table, and both sides are respected.
Well, let's say equal, but not the same.
Equal,
but that's the key part.
But that's the key. A man is greater than a woman in that which is masculine, and a woman is greater in a man than in that which is feminine. We already understand that.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
But the only matriarch, which is supposed to not exist, is a wounded one. And it exists in the African American community. The African American community is a matriarch that is filled with wounded black women. Am I lying? 323-965-1600. Khalil, St. Louis, you're in the building.
Yes, Khalil?
Yo, but that's like with my job. These women that work with us, they want to talk about equality, but they don't work the same standards. They'll take off, they'll call off at any little thing, when as men, we have to keep on working no matter what we hurt. We're sick, we got to come in. The women make up excuses, and they give them breaks for it. So
you can't call in. You can't call in to work and say, I got man problems. I can't come in today.
Right.
Are you really?
They do.
I'm on my man period.
Yeah, my man cycle.
Now,
that's a Harley Davidson.
And you know what? I like to make a point to this caller. I mean, I'm sure she's not, I chipped my nail, I'm not coming in. But is it because she has a sick child at home? Is it because she had to go to the doctors? Is it maternity?
No, she's lazy. She just had a kid like a year ago. She gained a lot of weight, and she don't want to work. She just came in and gave some doctor statement that she made up claiming that she can't walk.
That's a big baby.
So you're going to be off work for 6 months. How you going to sit at the home and pay your bills when you off at home and you're not getting paid?
How do you know
just
she's
making up excuses because you done gained weight and you done got lazy instead of getting up, exercising, knowing you got a physically demanding job, and get out there and work.
What kind of job is it?
I'm a mail carrier.
Okay. You sound very angry. Postal even.
No, I'm not.
You know, you got to wear them ugly black socks, too.
Yeah, them dogs be coming out on you.
I don't know. I'll be looking for your manifesto soon.
Hey, brother, thanks for the call. We really, really appreciate it. Listen, I got to take a quick break. But you know what? This show is off the chain. The phone lines are wide open, 323-965-1600. We have author DT. That's her pen name. What does DT stand for, please?
Dating Tips for Men.
Dating Tips for Men. Linda Gross, author of
The Caveman Formula.
I'm
found
telling
on
you.
Amazon.
And there's 4 points. She's going to tell us what those 4 points
I
are.
want to know them.
We have legendary comedian, actor, just all around great dude, entertainer. If you've ever come to California and seen him on Venice Beach, he's gone. He's way larger than that now. But I remember he was just a cold piece of work. Michael Colyar in the building.
World famous, world
And of
renowned.
course,
Stick around, you'll learn more.
NBC's own. Jesus, she's blowing up. She's a star. I'm trying to catch some of the stardust. Beautiful, delicious, sexy,
Tasty.
single, doing her damn thing. CJ,
Smart.
Claudia Jordan.
I like that brain.
Follow me on
murder.
Twitter and Instagram, please, at Claudia Jordan. Stimulate your mind and your penis.
Yes.
Well,
My penis
wiggled
just
a bit on
moved
that.
when she said that. My
I got some
penis
questions when we get back.
Shit! Wiggle fest. Anyway,
on thy lap. I'm sorry, excuse me.
thy rod has awakened.
Bring that one to me.
Have her bathed and washed and brought to my quarters at once. Anyway, and Geoff Brown is in the building. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, phone callers, I'm coming to you. This is a great show. The Rise of the Effeminate Man. Somebody holler at us right now, 323-965-1600. I'll be back in 2.2. So what mornings? Ladies and gentlemen, So What Morning's back. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. The breaks be as interesting as the on-air chat.
Dude, we got to... Dude,
Hot.
she just hit us with prophecy.
Gotta do a rewind on that
Hit that
break.
prophecy for us one
Listen,
time.
this is what I want you guys to do really quickly. Callers, I'm coming to you, but what I want you to do is keep it brief, hit it out the park. Whatever you got to say, make sure your ideas together because I got to roll through you quickly. Okay, starting with Soul Wonder in the building. Chime, my good friend, chime.
What's going on, everybody?
Soul Wonder.
So what up, Soul Wonder?
Nothing to it. This has been a hot topic since last night, so we've been.
You seen all of those questions I was posting, right?
Yeah, that was really crazy. But I think and Michael Colyar hit it on the nail. It all predicates on respect. You know what I'm saying, as far as between the two, and this thing about a male. I think it's actions. I don't think it's like your sexual preference. It's all about what you do that makes you a man. Your sexual preference is how how you feel. No, I ain't long-winded, whoever it is on that line, but that's what it is, man. It's just it's all about a respect.
Right.
It's all about how he was brought up. And this is your actions. I think that's all it is.
Right. Thank you for the call, man. Great point. Really appreciate it. Say cool. You're next. 30 seconds or less. Go deeper.
Going with all that. So I need to go with all that bullshit. We'll find out how much his wife respects him when he's in divorce court. Real quick.
Wow.
Angry.
Wow.
Party of one.
Might want to call back.
Back up. Who was he talking to?
Bitter party of one. Your table's ready. In the back, please.
Water, no ice.
I wonder where feminism is in other countries, or is that just an American thing? And I wonder if that's only happening to American men.
Well, Europe, they've been in skinny jeans for a while, and
I wouldn't
they're
say
manly
only,
still.
but I think we're the hardest hit here in America.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think women in other parts of the world, they are respected. They do have power. They feel they have power, so they don't have to go out of their way to go through all these shenanigans.
Well, when they're not being stoned and having their clitoris cut off, they're
right. I understand that too, and it's interesting that women in Iraq, you don't hear them say they're a strong Iraqi woman or they're an independent woman. They shut the fuck up.
But those are women. But those are women that are like Claudia just mentioned. Those are some women that are also oppressed, suppressed,
under
repressed,
siege.
They're under siege because what happens is you have idiots who miss the wisdom and the spiritual context of their religion.
Right.
They're more integrated in the culture than they are in the context behind the words of their beliefs. So you got to wear a burqa or a kimar, and they miss the whole fucking point.
They're murdering women, daughters, 9-year-old girls that are being raped because they shame their family. So
right. Most of these guys don't even read the language. They may speak the language, but they don't read the language that their scripture is in. If you sit down and say, do you speak Arabic? And they say, yeah, I speak Arabic. Do you speak Fusha, classical Arabic? Well, no. Well, the Quran is written in Fusha and you don't read it. That means you're spiritually illiterate. You don't even know what the book is saying.
You know how hard it is to find a good kimar? I'm sorry.
I think those men are the most insecure men in the world.
Thanks, Sekou, for the call. Who's next on the line? Let's roll through them. Who we got? Who's next? We got to get the next call. Soul Wonder is on the line. Talk to me, Soul Wonder. Let's go.
Now, I don't understand why that brother had to help me out.
You're back.
I've been married for 10 years, 10.5 years. And my wife respects the hell out of me, and I respect her. She is not my puppet. She is my soulmate, and she is my partner. We walk together as a man and woman should be.
Nice.
And she has her power, and she knows how to exert her power.
Right
she
on.
exerts her power by not push me over. So to that dude, go get a life, dude.
Turn your radio down, Doc.
Let me tell you
I
this, though,
appreciate the
too.
call, man.
Integrity starts at home. You know what I'm saying? I mean, as an individual, you are your home. That's where it starts. I was with a woman for 27 years and married for 24. I got out of that relationship last year, but I got out of it with integrity, with dignity. In fact, she sat on my radio show with me, and we looked into the camera and said, after 24 years of marriage, we have evolved separately. Now, I put 27 years in that, so there's nothing that's ever going to make me dog her. I ain't going to never say nothing ugly or negative nowhere, because that is my integrity. On the other hand, if she chooses to, and a couple of things have been said out there by her that was offhanded, that don't have shit to do with me.
Right.
I am responsible for my integrity. I must live high integrity no matter what happens. And if we maintain that structure, then we treat each other with dignity.
But see,
and then we move to the next thing.
I got to piggyback off of this because this is so fucking poignant. Integrity is a spiritual component.
Yes, it is.
It is not a sociological one.
Absolutely.
So what happens, in my opinion, women blow up and they have these sociological desires. I want to be married by this time. When I do marry the person, he has to have this, he has to be this. And I think we miss, and men do it too, I think we miss the spiritual components that are needed for a successful relationship. You see what I'm saying? So when you said, I have integrity, what we now see are people running into relationships trying to avoid unresolved issues that the relationship is actually designed for them to resolve. So they think they can go there and it'll be all good because it's a new situation and they got good intents, but they don't understand that the relationship is designed to reflect back that which you have not worked on internally. And you need integrity in order to work through it. Nice. This is why Bob Marley said, listen, everybody's going to hurt you, but the one you love is the person you're willing to deal with the pain. You're willing to say, you know what? I love this person, and I'm going to deal with that because it comes with everybody. The bullshit comes with everybody. But that person you love, you tolerate that pain. You accept the pain. The pain is part of the fucking dish. Most people trying to run away from it. Good dude, Orange County. Talk to me.
Yes.
Yeah, how you doing, so?
What's up, man?
I'm not certain as to how men, at least at the turn of the 21st century, have become so effeminate. I know what I've tried to do personally as a man growing up, a single-parent household. My mother raised me and my brother, is trying to purge those feminine ways and the feminine characteristics out of me to become a more complete man. So I think everyone can take that cue. Every male, at least, who was not around positive male role models and did not have the uncles or older cousins or whatever father figures in place. So I think that it would behoove most men in that situation to kind of purge those feminine qualities out of us.
Yeah,
Great point. I appreciate the call, Geoff Brown.
I was just listening to you, man. And God damn it, okay? He tall, he got green eyes, he's smart. What the fuck is you waiting on, Claudia? Shit!
Well, why doesn't he have a woman then?
I mean,
what's going on with him?
I love cunnilingus.
No, let's go back to the
Cunnilingus is
prophecy.
delicious.
Hit him with it. I gotta ask you, Claudia, you are fine as Persian cat hair.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
You're smart.
Rainforest
You're
frog hair.
funny. You're successful.
Sexy.
Why are you single?
I admit it to you, and I'll say it again. I've picked horrible men. I picked men based on flashy things. I'm not going to lie. That seemed good enough, or that seemed great at the time. And, within a couple months, it gets revealed. I try to break out of old bad patterns, and part of it is, society, I'm sure. It's my fault as well.
This is why I love Claudia.
I'm honest.
She will fucking tell the truth.
I'm honest.
Sometimes,
holy shit.
There's been times Claudia will be on Facebook. I will fucking inbox her. Hey, you're talking too much. Please stop.
Pull back.
I'm very honest, and I think there's something beautiful about that, though. Like, I don't front about things except a few pieces in my hair. For the most part,
hysterical.
Everything's real. Like, I'm very much like what you see is what you get.
Right.
Good, bad, or ugly, and I like that in other people. You know what I mean? But there's not a lot of that out there. A lot of people, I feel like I'm playing a game where, it's two sets of rules, where I'm playing by these rules where it's like, okay, tell the truth, have integrity, be honest, don't lie, blah, 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 don't be, piece of shit. And the other person's, fronting, lying, and whatever, and it's just not fair. So I'm going to lose that game every time.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Wow. I've definitely, I don't know, since we're younger as women, we're told to look for this, that, and the third, this checklist, right? And I look for that, and then I also try to combine that with a guy is spiritual and smart and intelligent and deep and all that. But a lot of times people pretend long enough to get you sprung on what you think, is beautiful and great, but it's really not there.
Exactly.
It's really an illusion. And I'm not going to lie, I have been fooled many times. I've been fooled.
I've been tricked a couple times myself.
Me too. Shit.
Yeah.
But let's show me. No. Oh,
my eyes are open to it though.
I've been tricked, but I always walk away with some good cooter.
There you go.
She wasn't shit, but I'm telling you what.
Hollywood's definitely a tough place for this. I mean, I usually date out, long distance, whatever. Then that's a whole nother set of problems. But you never really know who's you. When you're hot, all these people want to go out with you, and then they're using you for something and telling you the right things, feeding you what you think you need to hear. And
it's so fabulous. I didn't look for my new queen. She just walked pass.
Come on, bro.
There you go.
Because again, on a spiritual note, I keep telling people, people are so enamored by the social construct that they forget that relationship is a course in miracles.
Yes, it is.
It is. Listen,
It's a course in miracles. You're right
It's
about
too fucking difficult, and it fucking drives me nuts. People say, "Ah, man, I should have known," or "I don't know why I attracted this person." You attract what is what is
you are.
inside
Necessary.
of the contents of your character.
Yeah, you
is
attract
what you are.
Yeah.
The contents of your consciousness is what you attract. There is a lesson.
I don't know about that.
Absolutely. You can't undo the
so.
law of spirituality. There's 4 planes of consciousness: spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional.
Yeah.
Most people are attracted to each other on the physical and the emotional. Damn, she looks good. Damn, she makes me feel good. But most people are so self-unaware that they can't differentiate between an emotional feeling and a spiritual one.
Crackheads don't hang out with winos, and I know that from being one of each. They just don't.
I've hung with crackheads, and I'm a wino.
But you didn't really hang.
Hysterical.
You might have been there for a minute, but you
not
didn't
for
hang.
long.
So
You
I have
didn't
a
go
question.
deep.
I have a question.
You didn't try to smoke no lint off the rug.
I swear.
Hilarious. I have a question for
I don't wanna
DT,
tell
Linda
you.
Gross,
That a rock over there?
author
That's a
of
rock.
The caveman formula.
The Caveman Formula.
Caveman formula.
I have a question for her and our panel. What are some effeminate man myths? The greatest myth I've ever heard came from Lord Speedy. Why he's called Speedy, I will never know.
Wow.
That don't even go together. That's hilarious.
He said the craziest shit I had ever heard. I don't know. I don't know if Claudia was there. Maybe you were there.
shit.
I don't know. But Lord Speedy said
Here we go with the bullshit.
that journaling leads to homosexuality.
That what?
Deep.
What's journaling?
Writing your
Writing a
feelings
journal?
in a journal.
What advice do you take from Speedy?
That's the real question for the panel. What fucking advice would you take from Speedy?
Speedy, except whether maybe buy pork or diapers on sale.
Or
could do
Richie
a,
Cunningham sweater.
barrel,
Wait till you get
sell,
one on sale.
You could do a laziness class over at PCC, Pasadena City College.
Wow.
Linda,
I
Oh my
think
God.
effeminate man myths.
one of the core things, beautiful things about men is they like to please their woman.
Right.
Yes.
So unfortunately, they listen to what
Retarded
women
ejaculation.
say, and sometimes what women
follow that
say
ignorant
isn't
shit.
necessarily true, but they listen. So one of those myths would be something to the effect of, "Oh, we like a sensitive man. We want a man who can cry at the movies."
I don't.
And then meanwhile, when that happens,
You would not like me.
The next day, she'll go and she'll tell 15 of her friends how the guy cried. I mean, so you kind of have to.
I didn't cry at Django, but a couple of movies have taken me out. A couple of movies have taken
I
me
mean, certain movies like Passion of the Christ, but damn it, don't cry during The Best Man. You know what I mean? Don't cry during just
Right. I mean, like
out. I cried at Wreck-It Ralph. I'm sorry.
What is
Yeah.
that?
Wreck-It Ralph.
The kids movie.
The cartoon.
The cartoon.
When he broke
damn
her
it.
heart, I couldn't go any further. I was like, I don't believe
Toy
it.
Story 3 got me.
Right, I cried on first
They
Sunday.
went over the. Oh man,
No, I didn't. I ain't cry on first Sunday. Now that was a lie, right there. That was.
Wow.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I think men go down this path because of their overriding emotion of they want to please their woman. But you just kind of have to. You kind of have to temper that and make sure that what she's asking of you is really the real deal.
Right.
That she's not just taking you for a ride.
Right.
That's that I've found to be the most profound truth. The quickest way to make your woman miserable is try to do everything she wants you to do. My woman is 2 people, and I'll tell her that. I said, you know what? Okay, the you that wants to cuddle on the couch is one woman. The you that want this damn light fixed in the kitchen, that's another broad.
That's
and I got to
somebody
deal
else.
with her tomorrow
Right.
if I sit with you tonight. So I'm going to disappoint you tonight. I'm going to fix this goddamn light. You got to know which one of them.
Wow, my woman's about to be miserable because I'm trying to give her everything.
No,
everything she wants because she gives me everything I want. It's so deep that the first time I've actually found my perfect mirror. You know, in the Hebrew faith, they have a thing called Besherta. And the Besherta, it's like, in Hebrew faith, they say that God created all souls as perfect halves. And when you find your perfect half, that's your Besherta. If it's a man, it's your Beshert. And you never look again because your heart sings a royal song. And then people say, well, if that's true, how come there's so many divorces? Well, you haven't found your Besherta. You just settled for a motherfucker.
A lot of people married
and some of the traits.
And,
you know?
and to go even deeper, go even deeper, you might have found that person
and fucked them over,
but fucked it off.
But no, the thing is, you can't fuck it off if it's your Besherta, because your heart really connects in such a way that you know it is correct. At least that is the kismet that I'm at right now. You know, it's like.
Have you ever asked yourself this question? What if she doesn't know that some of the stuff she asking you for, she don't want?
Oh, I don't know. I've never asked myself that question. It's confusing. I'm confused.
It's too goddamn confusing question.
Oh, God, it's a confusing question.
But this is what, for me, this is what I think in terms of myths for effeminate men. I think an empathetic man is not effeminate. Someone who can connect to his woman and how she feels and understands. That's not effeminate.
That's not effeminate.
So, and I think we have to point some of these things out. When like Claudia said, if the dude cries over the Jeffersons, then maybe there's an issue. But if a guy is genuinely concerned about your, what'd you write here?
That one
Poetess?
is that all effeminate men are gay.
Right, and all effeminate men aren't gay.
No.
Let me say,
That's a very masculine gay.
Those are the ones that's the problem. The ones that ain't gay.
Dude, I got the weirdest homeboy. Now, I've known this dude since we were in high school. And it was one thing I could never understand. He wasn't the most handsome dude in the world, but he had women. I mean, he had some Asian girl buy him a truck.
He was so in touch with his...
an Asian girl buy him a truck.
I just didn't understand. He was like...
he was in touch with his
He was
emotions.
like a pimp, but he was raised by his sisters. And then later... by a stepfather.
So he probably had respect for women.
The combination.
But what was ill, what I never, and this is what made me distance myself, even as a 16-year-old.
Was what?
One day I saw the dude, he had on some footsies. You know the footsies with the little ball on the
with
back?
the little ball in the back.
And then,
it's adorable.
As if that wasn't enough, he had on an ankle bracelet.
There you go.
Oh,
He might have had
that's a bit far.
He might have had a sugar daddy.
That's far right there. You went all the way there with that one.
Now let me tell you what my other homeboy's mother said about him. Destroyed me. I've been laughing about this for 20 years because she country. She from Chicago. She country.
Okay.
She was like, the boy got a gay spirit on him. There's a gay soul.
That's hilarious.
Spirit.
But I've never known him to be gay.
But just some of the strongest men I know have slight effeminate traits that you sort of peak every now and then. You go,
wait a minute,
that don't fit with the rest of the. I'm talking about pimps and niggas I know that'll fold you up and put you in a trunk. And,
right.
And then every now and then they'll do a little something and you go, ooh, that don't go with this picture, and I can't explain it though.
I feel like
That's
masculinity,
like barbecue sauce and grits.
Real masculinity.
That's actually good.
Not fake masculinity, like, oh, I don't care about hoes and I can't show them that I care and all this other nonsense. I feel like masculinity is
Go
just
deeper. Yes.
I feel like it's becoming extinct. It is. It's like because we have a whole bunch of. I go to clubs sometimes. Well, I used to go to clubs. I don't even go out anymore in LA.
There's the problem.
No, there's no need for me to be there anymore. It's so whack when I used to go out. You see all these guys on each other like this in the clubs, and girls are walking by, and they're just like disrespecting them. They just want the cosign of their boys more than the attention of the females now.
Put your arm back on my shoulder. Put your arm back on my shoulder.
Wait, you got a wife? She might be crazy.
I was feeling that over here.
But
You got a wife? She might be crazy.
But I'm saying, and these I feel like
think you fine too.
Brothers. Trying to get action over here.
Party.
I feel like black men, it is your responsibility when you see your boy putting on the skinny jeans, the footies, the ankle bracelets. Please speak on it. Don't say it's okay because he's a great ball player. Don't say it's okay because he's an amazing actor and let it slide.
So Claudia,
he's artsy. He's a baller. He's rich. He can do that. No, he cannot.
Claudia, you make a great point.
I'm saying.
Excellent.
Now we have to come back to entertainment because remember, entertainment is fucking education for the layman. right? For the stupid masses, for the population.
Right. Well, he's doing it. He's rich, and it's okay. He's getting girls. Okay,
if we see Lil Wayne, we got to talk about hip hop and music.
Leopard skinny jeans.
Yeah, you wearing some jeggings and some Uggs. Somebody got to step up and say, "Dude, that's gay."
Well, and kissing baby on the mouth.
When you kiss baby on the mouth, how do we reconcile
It's gotten this
that?
bad where that's a pass. No one even checked him for. They made jokes, but they still that's their dude. Like no one's even checking it.
Somebody mentioned Jamie Foxx in the chat room here.
What'd they say?
Who are we talking about? Jamie
I'm
Foxx?
just saying. I'm just saying.
Here's a problem with a whole generation of people. Okay, I'm gonna put Zoe and Michael Colyar on the same. What if I have both your numbers? What if I call Zoe and Michael Colyar?
Yes.
I go, fellas, let's go down to Melrose and get some skinny jeans in pastel colors.
No, you
go.
can't call me.
I'm gonna say yeah. No, all you're gonna hear is the click.
Exactly.
That phone call is over.
I am held accountable by my peers because my peers have a phrase. What the fuck I look like doing that?
But then
young
again,
dudes under 30 never say, what the fuck I look like doing that?
Me,
Niggas go do it.
It's not a fair question because I'm a style horse. And so,
that's how,
style horse.
Not a clothes horse.
I'm that's what I'm a haberdasher and I have ocular proof.
Haberdasher.
Yeah, so brother, I'm wearing only the fly shit. If you catch me in some skinny jeans, the motherfucker just mugged me.
I hope you had a track meet or something.
Took all your clothes and redressed you.
Right.
Well.
Yeah.
Let me ask this, nigga.
Let me ask this.
Why are we not checking our brothers when they are? Why are we not checking the black men that are doing this?
Well, I think, and
skinny jeans are a gateway item of clothing.
Yeah,
it's a
gateway item.
I see guys with eyeliner on, foundation.
I think that's a great point. Who's the dude? 2 Chainz. He's got a picture out right now where he's got all the chains on and he's wearing lipstick and makeup.
A bum.
I mean, to me, this is reckless imagery. You know, reckless because you got a lot of kids out there who will emulate that.
Exactly.
And I think at some point we need to understand, like,
lipstick is too far. What is too far?
Claudia makes a great point. I think Claudia just called out black manhood.
Yes.
Because it's really our responsibility to go, that's some bullshit.
Yes, nigga, stop
You
that.
don't get to do that shit.
Don't
Next
do
time
that.
we see you, we're going to fold you up for all the bullshit you confusing the kids with.
And I want to be clear because I ride or die I really defend, the gay population, gay folks, okay? This is not an attack on gay people. So please don't take this as gay bashing.
Right.
We are talking about straight men that are behaving in ways that are more feminine. They're not acting in a manly way.
That androgynous.
So you're saying you're gonna be gay? Go all the way. Be gay.
Commit to it.
Don't trick
I
us.
commend you because
Don't trick us.
I think
Don't trick us.
I think living in a gay lifestyle, being gay, living your truth is one of the bravest things you can do.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's a very cowardly thing to do to be, straddling the
Pretending and
fence or-
flossing.
But
Yeah.
America is a fucking culture of mirrors. So you ain't fucking with nothing but reflections all day anyway. Being authentic is a rarity here.
You know?
And I don't give a fuck where you from, New York,
Especially
LA,
in
and
this
any
town.
place in between. This is a place of mirrors. So I asked the question, what are some characteristics that would justifiably label a man as effeminate? Linda?
Sitting down to go pee.
Oh my God! Don't get deeper.
Wow.
I guess it don't go much further than that.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest.
I have a whole list here.
I'm gonna overshare.
Walking her shoe dog around the block.
What's a shoe dog?
One of those little dogs that are like 12 inches
God,
or long.
Oh yeah, I don't
a
like
man
big
can't have
men.
a little dog?
No, I got a problem with that.
Yeah,
a big man with a little dog. I
Big
got a
buck
problem
man
with
with a
that.
little dog?
With a little yip dog.
Wait a minute.
Yip. Them little yip dogs. No, I don't.
Whoa.
That ain't right.
A yip dog.
I own a Shih Tzu by default. It was
By
my wife's
default.
dog.
Okay, thank you.
When we got married, my kids done fell
At
in
least
love with this little
clarify that.
bastard, and I only walk him
Yeah,
at
you
night.
don't-
I only walk him at night. I don't walk him during the
Yeah,
day.
you don't
when
want
people
that
can
with you.
see.
You wanna leave that at the house.
And sometimes I sit down to pee in the morning because I be so fucking tired.
That's a snack to my dog. I got a cane corso.
I just gotta sit down and
Go
pee,
ahead.
man. I be tired.
If I go in the
So that
bathroom
means
and the
Jeff is
toilet
gay in
seat,
the morning.
yeah, if it's down, there's a problem.
I ain't gay no time. I'm tired of standing up. Shit, I got to pee a lot. You know how much water? I drink a gallon of water a day. In the morning, I got to pee. My pee is 45, 50 seconds long. I done counted it.
I
That's
think-
a long
Just don't do that in prison.
A man that's
All right.
overly concerned with his looks. It's just ridiculous.
Turn
I
off.
was just having a conversation with someone the other day and just, no, you can't take a picture of me because I'm not really there yet. Like, I don't want to hear that. Like, you're overly concerned. If I think you look good, whatever, and I want a picture of you, whatever, let me take it.
So if a guy says, let's label this as effeminate, If you're trying to take a picture of a guy and he says, "I'm not ready yet."
Wow, yeah.
I'm not doing that one. I'm not doing that. Although I try to always leave the house camera ready, but I'm just saying I don't
appreciate that, but there's a fine line.
I don't do that one. I don't ever tell people no, because I want my picture in every home in America.
And leave the Beijing Sharpie shape up hairline stuff at home. If anyone in the house is wearing eyeliner, it needs to be me. Okay.
Yeah, I don't get men with eyeliner or lipstick.
Can I
Those
date a
things
guy?
I don't get.
I can't get
rouge. No.
I have white pillowcases. I cannot date a guy that I need black pillowcases for. So if you have eyeliner, you have makeup on your face, and you have the hair.
Here's one. Here's one.
Give me one.
The inability to keep your word about how you feel, regardless to who you are around.
There you go.
If I don't like you, I like Michael Colyar, and I don't give a fuck who don't like Michael Colyar that can help my career. I'm not going to pretend in the improv that I don't like Michael Colyar.
Wow.
Now, there are other cats who I won't name names because I don't want to have to whoop their ass again that I don't like, and I don't pretend I like them under any circumstances. I don't. And that, to me, is a mark. That's how my granddaddy did it, and my uncles did it. I don't do it.
Jeff, don't you think that's an LA thing, though?
Yeah, it's some water in it.
It's being the fake thing, and you're one person to your face and another person behind your back.
Wait a minute.
It's an
Let's
LA
not
thing.
label it LA.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Let me tell you why I'm not.
Because there's phony motherfuckers everywhere.
Let me tell you why I'm not going to label it LA. Let's just understand. TMZ stands for 30-mile radius. There are real motherfuckers outside that 30-mile radius. Now, everybody ain't trying to be in Hollywood that lives in Southern California.
Right.
Take your ass to Pomona. You're going to see some real folk down
My
there.
neck of the woods.
Go take your ass to a Laker game when they're on the road. And they open up the Staples Center for $5 a ticket so people can. Then you go see the real folk in L.A. So don't see the misnomer is everybody in LA is Hollywood. Hollywood and that shit only represents a 30-mile radius. That ain't representing all the people that are here. A lot of the people that are here came here from the South.
From somewhere
and they some
else.
real folk. You're gonna see some Chicago folk down here. You're gonna see some Georgia folk, some Chattanooga folk, some Atlanta folk.
Chicago.
You're gonna see some real folk. So
Southside.
don't just make it a LA thing. I'm sorry. Damien from Washington. I love Claudia.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So you were talking about the effeminate man, but what about the emasculated man? You got a lot of men that sit around and trying to raise kids. Wife raising hell and bitching and complaining. He's sitting on the couch, yes, dear, looking at the floor. Your young boy sees that just as well as he sees being raised by a woman and wearing skinny jeans. It's just as bad.
That's damaging as well.
So when moms, especially if she making more money, and you do have a father in the environment that is emasculated by the mother's success, a lot of people don't understand what kind of nonverbal communication is being spoken to these children in that type of situation. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a myth, an effeminate myth, you can call me right now. That's 323-965-1600. Call us, Zo What Morning Show. I want to do a real quick reintroduction of everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, this is beautiful Claudia Jordan. C Murder in the building. We really appreciate having her. Geoff Brown, comedian extraordinaire, as well as legendary entertainer, comedian, actor Michael Colyar in the building.
Thank you very much.
DT pen name, but Linda Gross is the real author of
The Caveman Formula. Google
Yes,
it.
yes, indeed. The number to dial is 323-965-1600. Claudia, go deeper.
My brother, speaking of that kind of relationship, my brother, again, same dad we had, and he is married to a doctor. She makes a lot of money. Like, she's definitely... Cha-ching. I wouldn't say she's the breadwinner because he actually contributes as well. He's he's in education.
But she bring the loaf of bread. He bring like biscuits.
He brings
and
the
muffins
edges
and stuff.
He brings the edges. And she brings
the edges.
Yes. So they bring a lot of money together, but she makes a lot of the money. They have 2 daughters, and he is so present in their lives, and he goes out of his way. Like, he is showing them what a strong black man is there for, what kind of man that they're going to probably be looking for in the future. Like, there is no, they leave that at the door that she makes more money than him.
Right.
And I wish more people can keep that in perspective and know how important that is to, like, that's one thing, but when it's home, like, there's still the traditional roles. I'm all for traditional roles in the house.
Right. And that's like the mother of my 2 oldest children. We were having a conversation yesterday about our son. And everybody who sees my son sees his dad.
Of course.
He walks like you. He talks like you. He articulates
He's
like
you
his
again.
hand movements, all of this and that. And it doesn't just go with him. It goes with my daughter. When my daughter was 3 years old, she was in a daycare center, and they Christian. You know, I'm not Christian, but I've studied all religions, and I'm really profound and proficient with it. So they're talking about Jesus, and my daughter goes, at 3, wait a minute, you guys think Jesus is out there? God is out there? No, God's inside. And she starts speaking like me
down, Zoe-ish.
to the point where the teacher called her mother and was like, his influence on her is profound. It's powerful. Whatever you do, don't mess that up. And at the end of the day, we may not be together.
That's right.
But she recognizes that the influence is more important than the intimate relationship. She said, fuck that part. They're here now. And what you have to contribute to them psychologically is the real currency. What happens is, and somebody argue against this, I see material hubris in a lot of black sisters. Because you've made it, you know, financially, you think that makes you the head, that makes you the leader. But there's spiritual penury because you don't understand that relationship is a spiritual environment, not a social one solely. Somebody call me 323-961.
Ass be alone with your checkbook on the weekend.
Just jacking off with a checkbook.
Checks to you, sir.
Just a vibrating credit card. I don't know shit. 323-965-1600. Claudia disagrees. Let's go.
No. But I feel you. But let's not get carried away where it's like it's so not about like that. Like we still need our men to step up and still try to meet us somewhere. I don't need you to be bawling. It is nice, but I don't need you to be like. Let's not give too much of a pass where it's like, oh, none of that really matters. You do want your man to step up.
But my thing is, it's a pass when what he is giving, say he doesn't have the money, right? But say his spiritual content, his emotional and his mental content, and his presence just overweighs all this other shit.
Why is he not working though? He's not working?
But again, this is some of the old template. Again, and this is why I say relationships fail, because we live in a society whose relationship rules were created by economists, whose educational system is predicated on your ability to integrate into an economy.
Zoe, would you want your daughter to be with a man that is bringing all the spirituality and wisdom, but he's not working?
Found
she's taking care of him?
The next Dalai Lama?
Okay, that's extreme. But
no, it isn't. It's possible.
That is not working. That's like, but I got all this spirituality for you, girl, and it's incense.
I'm this
I got
guy.
No job.
I'm this guy.
We have to be real too.
If I can sit down,
life costs money.
Because I know personally. This is why I teach my daughter this. Independence, by definition, means you're able to stand on your own, and the only way to do that is to first know who you are and what you are from the inside out. If you join with another person not knowing this key factor, you're going to be lost. Now, that's the spiritual side. The social side is this. You live in a society and culture that demands that you not only educate yourself, but you get a job to take care of yourself. When you know yourself, you're educated, and you can take care of yourself, now you can enter into a relationship with confidence without relying on someone else to tie up your loose ends. I said independence, by definition, means you can handle it on your own.
I get that.
But in relationship, you're going to need somebody to bring that which you are not. So if you've already got the money and you've already got the accomplishments, what are you now lacking? What are you now looking for? And that's that Beshara.
Claudia?
The Beshara.
That's the Beshara that the dude was talking about.
Wasn't our men supposed to be providers as well, though? Should
Absolutely.
We not? Is that wrong for us to want to expect that?
It's not wrong for you to expect that, but you have to remember we are evolving as a culture where there are more women at work in America today than there are men.
Claudia, do you think
women can afford? You
coincidence?
can't go back and say, please take care of me, and I'm worth millions.
Back in the day, before women worked,
go deeper.
The men were the protectors and the providers. They were the protectors because often men are bigger, badder, stronger, faster than we are, and they would address the threat to the camp or the threat to their women and children. With regard to provider, back in the day, before women worked, yes, they were putting the food on the table, but that's not so much anymore, Claudia. So I think there are several ways, and that's when you say the Bashir, there are several ways where a man can provide. Does not necessarily only have to be financial. I've seen women who make, $200,000-$300,000 a year, and they have, the husband, the man's taking care of the kids, whatever, and she's going off to work. And why does that relationship work? Because maybe she's all strung out from work, and the essence that he provides is a nice, stable, calm environment. When she comes back from work, he's the balance. So that's why that relationship.
I've been in that situation before,
and I take slight. I don't really go along with this. Not so much anymore. Maybe not as much.
Yeah.
But the truth is, it's still majorly. You're still expected. Men are still expected to be the provider.
Right.
Be the.
But we have to understand where that concept comes from.
Where does this concept come from?
It's old. It's archaic. Remember, hey, back in the day, marriage was about a dowry. I need 400 sheep for Claudia.
Yeah.
500.
6.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, 600, yes.
Yes. And they better be some big ass sheep.
Yeah.
Some big, hairy sheep.
They better shear themselves.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, so a lot of our concepts and ideas come from an old time. Now, this is...
But wait,
but listen,
that time worked.
But this is the
That time
dichotomy.
worked, though.
But this is the dichotomy in which we live.
Okay, but understand,
Science,
we're more dysfunctional now because we have abandoned those archaic
I totally disagree.
And you're welcome to. But
I totally disagree.
I think that is where the failure is that we were put together, our system, our on this planet, for there to be a stronger and a weaker together to be a whole. And that each one provides something that their strength is. And a woman's strength is where she brings the emotionalism. She gives you the wholeness. She lets you feel all that you need to be able to bring in the things that you bring to provide with is you do the work, you do the labor, you bring in the goods. That was a system that was created.
It's an archaic system,
but
and
it
I'll
still
tell you why.
You know what's
this
funny
is
to
the
me?
Dichotomy.
With us people,
ahead,
with our black folks, I'm sorry.
Right.
This is good stuff, though. I love it.
When a man's so rich and he has a woman, they break up, and she gets a big bunch of money, and people say the justifications, well, she was there for that man and she held him down.
I'm going through that shit right now.
Fuck that bitch. She wasn't with me shooting in the gym, blah blah blah. But now when the woman has the money, it's okay that the man was just there and just bringing spirituality.
Well, if you met her at the strip club at the goddamn All-Star game, then no.
Apples and bowling balls. I got this one. Hold on, Mike.
Go ahead.
Okay. If Denzel and Pauletta break up tomorrow, Denzel need to break bread. She was there to fix his goddamn teeth and drive him to acting class.
If she is part of the architecture of your ascent,
absolutely,
then she deserves.
Now, if you have ascended already.
Right, if she's a bracelet,
but in LA,
a relationship tennis bracelet.
LA, you don't have to be part of the architecture. In LA, you just have to have said, I do.
You can show up.
Right.
You're part of the architecture. I'm the heifer in the window with my titties out.
Look, I'm getting out of mine. The first thing my ex is saying is, I won't have everything you ever have in life.
That's not cool.
And but I'm going to tell you at first, it really threw me, because I had to think about this and I tried to let it enter my spirit. And then a friend reminded me that everything comes with a tax. Marriage comes with a tax. Exactly. Divorce comes with a tax. Right. So what I'm going to have to pay not to have to deal with this person anymore is a tax. I'll pay my motherfucking tax and keep it moving. Instead of letting it have sway over me.
Crunch all you want. I'll make more.
But to come back to the point about outdated and archaic systems, we as individuals must challenge our beliefs about relationships as an individual, but we also should challenge our ideas and concepts as a culture. triples itself every 18 months. That's why they keep coming on the iPhone 5S and now the iPhone 6 and then
it squares itself every
18 months.
By the time you figure out one thing,
every
the next one's
18
out.
months. So we are technologically advanced, but sociologically retarded.
Yeah.
So this is why science comes and goes, all that shit you used to believe about God is different now. Science has recontextualized religion. So who are we to say that science and technology shouldn't recontextualize relationships? We've got old beliefs. This is why it takes fucking geological time for people to heal from traumatic wounds. That's why it's difficult for us to arrive at fucking forgiveness, because we got to go through a long geological process of understanding because we hold on to old archaic beliefs. They must be challenged.
Y'all to come to Agape. Y'all change a lot of this thing.
I've been there.
All right.
He been on my show. Come
on,
man. He cold, you know.
Man, you know.
I guarantee you, if you brought him here, he'd agree with what I'm saying. We talking about quantum spirituality here.
Exactly.
A quantum
That's what he's
leap.
talking about. It's quantum spirituality.
I ain't said nothing that was different than him.
Listen,
I'm Michael Beckwith.
Come on now.
am a
Shit,
simple-
that like you know something.
Come
I'm
on
sorry.
now.
I'm a simple girl. If I make more than you, I don't want you, just because I make more than you and I bring home the money, I still want you to not be home playing
I'm
video
okay
games all
with
day. I
you
want you to
having
still work.
more than
I'm
me.
cool with that because you know why? I want to be able to still respect you.
Exactly.
I still want
Challenge
I
the
don't
belief.
care the template. I don't care about none of that shit. That's how I feel. That is how I feel. I don't want to come home and you're giving me spirituality and support. And all, that's great, but I still don't want to come home.
I think work is a
and watch
sacrament.
you playing video
you think work
games.
is what?
Work is a sacrament. I think that everything
playing
God
video
created
games.
works. Everything
saying.
God created was made to work, and everything God created has everything it needs to work properly. That's a
But
come
work is
anytime
not
we
just
work.
it's not just a narrow field. Your work.
Zoe
might-
wants a sugar mama.
No, I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Your work, like for instance, Quincy Jones, he has atypical work. Not every. Listen. Oh yeah, I do his work. I got to do his voice.
How does it go?
When he talks, I'll do his voice. Quincy Jones. No, Quincy Jones has atypical work.
Okay.
What I mean, how many motherfuckers make it as a musician, as a composer? I mean, at the time when he came up.
Not a musician,
Not
a
many people.
composer.
No.
Not many fucking people can become a fucking composer. And you know what Quincy Jones did? He became a composer. And guess what he did? That was the only currency he had to offer to his family. His work. He'll tell you today, I wasn't the best dad. Shit, you know. I'm catching up now, you know.
That's a very sad thing.
I got to sit down and
Sorry
talk to
to
them
hear it.
now. And he talked about how music was his real life, was his real wife. He was talking about how he was a terrible husband and all of these things because that is what he was connected to. The word worship and work share the same root. So he was in worship when he was doing his work. Now, when a man puts himself into his work to the point where nothing else exists, he's a fucking problem in the relationship.
Thank you. Because, see, I don't
so
agree
let's
with
not
that
just
shit.
narrow
I
it
don't-
down to
Yeah.
this guy is a provider. The
No.
question is, what are
No,
you
he's
providing?
more than a provider.
You're more than a
I'm
provider.
not saying that he's just a provider, but being a provider is the main thing he's supposed to do. That
did
is
that.
one of his jobs, but he can't just be that.
He
You know,
did
I
that.
sat with a guy the other day who says that his woman has to be his second girlfriend, that his girlfriend is his job, and if he can't do his job,
Right.
he just can't function. Me, on the other hand, I have met a queen where I could walk away from all this shit right now and never tell another joke because what she gives me,
There you go.
I can walk on water right now.
But that's
I
why
can
I
do it
say
if I
we're
want. I can
saying the
create
same
magic.
thing, Michael. We're saying the same thing.
Okay.
When there is contextual meaning in relationship, it trumps all of the
All that other
deficiencies
shit
that
don't
you
mean
thought
nothing.
was a fucking deficiency. DT, please speak to me what I'm saying. Jesus. Motherfuckers
sorry.
don't even want to hear me now. On my
Ain't
own
nobody
damn
got
show.
I'm gonna
We
put
gotta
some
have
skin
time
in
to
it.
play my daughter's record. Go
Soon
ahead.
as she say that, I'm gonna put some skin in it.
Speak to
go
me,
ahead.
Michael. What
Yes,
do you
ma'am.
need here? Go ahead.
Go ahead. On me?
Yeah.
Oh no, I was just saying.
I was just
You were
giving you the
saying you
floor.
could walk away from work because she treats you so well.
I can walk away from anything.
Anything,
Anything
yeah.
except
Isn't
from
that a
her right
beautiful
now.
feeling, though?
Yeah, because I feel
Your heart is full.
total. Absolutely.
I just
Absolutely.
needed the
What's wrong
white
with-
woman to
what's
come
wrong
and
with that?
validate what I was saying, but
I'm
I know
validating
Zoe.
you.
I know Zoe. I see.
Absolutely.
Can I put some skin in this?
yeah, put some skin in
I
it.
put some
Jeff.
skin in it. Okay, Claudia. I met my wife 4 years ago. After going through 2 divorces, losing 2 houses, about $125,000 cash, and 6 cars. I didn't have 2 nickels to rub together at that particular time. I did not bring, and I put all that shit out there. What I brought to my wife, which is now the start of me getting where I'm supposed to be, was honesty, masculinity, love, openness, and knowledge of self. And those are things that she and women like her, and as you have even intimated, starve for with dudes that got enough money to set fire to 50 grand.
Exactly. That's the same thing.
And if she goes by the template, if she was to go by the template that you put out, we'd have missed each other.
No. I feel like I'm being misunderstood here.
Okay, well, talk to me like I'm fine.
Because I'm reading some of the stuff on the chat room that I have a chip on my shoulder. That is not true. I just come off very passionate and very East Coast. I'm very rough around the edges, and the way I speak, sometimes y'all may be misunderstanding me. I guess you guys missed when I said I had a 4-year relationship with a guy that was not bringing anything financially to the table. I was there for him. I had his back. I supported him, and eventually he's doing amazing now. Incredible now. Now, we did break up, but it wasn't about that. You know, he's a great guy, just the timing wasn't there, just other things, but he was a great guy, and I still have love for him to this day. I'm not that chick who's incapable of supporting a man on his journey, and to get there, I was 100% behind him. And still was not condescending to him or disrespectful or didn't remind him that I run this, I make money. I would never do that to a man. But at some point, that just can't be forever like that. Like how your wife was down for you and now things are starting to come for you. There's got to be some kind of like plan there. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with
I'm not telling you to date shitty dudes.
Claudia is saying something that's really powerful.
There's nothing wrong with, temporarily, like, because I feel like that's the masculine role. I feel like.
But listen to me, Claudia.
Provider.
A down-ass woman will always uplift a man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I enjoyed it.
A down-ass woman will always do that.
I got something out of it, but you don't want that to happen. You don't want to be in that situation for a very, very long time but human nature, you'll start losing respect if you're always the one that's like lifting.
You only lose respect as long as you're in a space of judgment.
It's not judgment.
You cannot put a time limit on somebody's personal development.
I think the man and woman must lift each other up. It is really a mutual dance, man.
I mean,
always.
Okay,
how many years?
It was 4 years.
How many years is too long?
I don't know. It's whenever you feel frustrated.
Because what happens is, but that's my point.
Bill Cosby and Camille Cosby.
You don't want someone to be lazy.
In the 60s, in the 50s and 60s, Bill Cosby was with Camille Cosby for about 10 years before he saw a dime.
Exactly.
Right.
Different kind of woman, different kind of time.
Now, how long?
That was her limit.
So how long is for you? No, that wasn't her limit. It couldn't have been her limit. She got a plane with her name on it.
I'm saying
Camille.
So she was close.
Camille.
Again, you're jumping down my throat because I feel like you're thinking I'm saying, oh, I can only be down with you for a little bit, then I'm out. Deuces. But like if someone's progressing and working towards something, we can do this.
Okay.
And it could be 10 years. It could be 12 years. But if we're on a plateau and you're even going backwards, I can't.
But as long as you're looking at the clock,
then you're
and
a
as
fool.
long as you're judging, and then what you're actually doing is putting his career on a time limit. And a lot of people do this. And this is why I said in earlier shows. Listen to what I'm saying.
I don't hear you saying, I don't hear her saying that.
I didn't say she said it.
Okay, let me say something. Can I finish saying something?
He's got to have a journey.
He has to have a journey.
He has to have a journey.
Can I finish?
Let Claudia finish.
Let me finish. Okay. Everything, this is all beautiful awesome. When you're writing books, when you're sitting on a radio show, and when you're in chat rooms. But there is a thing called real life. There is biological clocks. There is time. There is money that needs to be spent to eat so we can feed ourselves, our bodies, and our minds, and so we can have these children. It costs money.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe some of y'all don't want to hear that. Okay, but that is the fact of life. So I will give you time. And as a woman that I'm not in my 20s, I don't have 10, 15, 20 years to wait on someone to realize their dreams. My time limit is shorter.
My wife's 43.
I'm about to be 40. I understand that. So okay, I'm not in the same place as I was when I was 21 years old, where I could wait for you for 20 years. Now it's a little bit like the clock. There is more of the shot clock is running down.
The shot clock.
Okay.
I love it. That's awesome.
Hold on.
And guess what? This is what we got to do.
Right.
Hey, listen to me. Wait. Everybody.
There's no faults. There's no faults.
Come on.
Biology.
Everybody.
It's life.
Everybody.
It's
We
biology.
have 2 minutes. We got to wrap this show. It has just got fiery, and I love it. But let me just say this to everybody on the panel. Everybody here is correct.
Yeah.
Everybody's opinion, everybody's point of view, all of it is correct. But this is the type of forum and platform where we have to air it all out and have these kind of conversations in a non-judgmental fashion.
Exactly.
Claudia came and brought some serious points to the table that cannot be overlooked. So with that said, I appreciate everybody for coming, and let me do this. Claudia, where can they see you next?
Twitter and Instagram and Facebook at Claudia Jordan. Please follow me. And next Sunday on Celebrity Apprentice All Stars, episode 2.
Nice.
Thank you if you missed it.
Awesome. My good man.
VH1.com. I'm sorry, I have other shows.
VH1.com.
VH1.com. Tiny Tonight. Trying to represent for classy, positive black women that are not male bashing. And there's another level of us besides ratchet.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
True. She's awesome.
Absolutely.
Michael Collier, world famous, opening a comedy room called Maverick Flats, right in the hood on Crenshaw.
I'll be there.
This Monday. Thank you, brother. And every Monday starting at 8 o'clock. Also, I have a documentary out on the president called A Funny Thing Happened on the way to the White House. I knocked on the door and a brother answered. That's the children's book that goes along with it. I'm also making a children's animated interactive book that goes with it. And you can reach me on Facebook under Michael Collier, Colyar. Inbox me. I'll holler back.
Wow. Great. DT.
Wait.
Linda
And
Jones.
my daughter has a record. We're going to play
We're
when
gonna
we
play it
leave.
on the way out.
We're going to be playing my daughter's music. Okay, go ahead on. That's you, Lonnie. Shout out, baby.
DT, talk to me. Linda Gross.
Linda Gross. You can Google The Caveman Formula. That's my new book. It's sold on Amazon. You can find me on Twitter, DT4M. That's the number 4, DT4M. Facebook, The Caveman Formula, or also DT4M. I'm all over.
Awesome. And you guys can see me tonight on Corey Holcomb's show, the 5150 show. I shall be returning. Great show. Appreciate everybody for coming out and participating. This is a great show. Follow it on YouTube. Follow it everywhere. And tweet me. My publicist keeps saying, at Zoe Williams, at Zoe Williams, at Zoe Williams. Follow me on Twitter, at Zoe Williams. I'll see you guys next week. Holla!
Thursday Comedy Union.
I'm not doing anything.
I'm hosting.
I know a guy that's sweeter than apple pie.